en la división peso welter, los jueces, the judges, Lorenzo Garza, Alfredo Bojorquez y Juan Parra. The referee, Julio César Mariscal. Presenting the fighter in the blue corner. Presentando la esquina azul. Vestido de rojo con verde y blanco. He steps in wearing red with green and white. His official weight, 147 3/4 pounds. Su peso oficial, 147 libras y 3/4. En su 21º combate a nivel profesional, con 17 victorias, 3 derrotas, 8 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout. Tonight, he enters the ring in his 21st professional bout with 17 victories against 3 losses, 8 of those victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, Kendo, el tremendo Castaneda. En la esquina roja, in the red corner, vestido de gris con blanco y negro. He steps in wearing gray with black and white trim. Detuvo la báscula a un peso idéntico de 147 libras y 3/4. He tipped the scales at an identical 147 3/4 pounds. In 27 bouts as a pro, he maintains a record of 23 victories against 3 losses, 1 bout even, 14 of those victories coming by way of KO. En 27 combates a nivel profesional, mantiene un récord de 23 victorias, 3 derrotas, 1 empate, 14 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout. De la Ciudad de México, DF, Mauricio Pintor.
Hey. Muchachos, es la pelea semiestelar. Quiero un bonito espectáculo. Tengan mucho cuidado con sus cabezas. Hagan caso a las indicaciones que yo les dé. Absténganse de que le baje un punto o los descalifique, por favor. Quiero una pelea limpia. Salúdense y suerte que gane el mejor.
That was a touch of gloves with emphasis. From the American Kendo Castaneda from San Antonio, Texas. Mauricio Pintor from Mexico City, Mexico. It's our co-main, scheduled for 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Our tale of the tape is presented by Art of Music. Memories fade, memorabilia doesn't.
Castaneda, a slight height and reach advantage. And what you don't see is the fact that Pintor has been inactive for a year and a half.
Gray trunks from Mauricio Pintor, red trunks for Kendo Castaneda. Pintor said, I know that coming in on a 3-fight losing streak, Castaneda is going to be very hungry, very aggressive, and very determined. I am ready for that.
Pintor, the nephew of Hall of Famer, the great Mexican bantamweight Lupe Pintor, who I was lucky enough to help bring into the International Boxing Hall of Fame a few years back. Pintor was very confident that he's going to make it 4 straight losses for Castaneda. Humbling year for Kendo. 3 losses last year. Really stepped up in competition. I mean, those losses were to guys whose combined record was 65-3.
Castaneda told us very clear-eyed he understands the importance of what's truly a crossroads bout for him. Trying to stay very relevant. His highly accomplished pro boxing career.
And he was very honest with me the other day, that he just didn't let his hands go enough. He sort of got caught up in the moment. Didn't have Jesse James Leja with him those 3 fights, and almost did just enough to lose each one of those. Complied with his opponents. Before those fights, he was telling us, because we called so many of his fights, he really wanted to step up. He did, and he didn't get it done. So this is a very important fight for Castaneda. I don't mind a loss at all, but 3 straight, that's a big deal. So you got to get back on the winning ledger here.
Castaneda working off of the jab here in round number 1.
And for Pintor, he, again, inactive all of last year. His last fight was October of 2019, when he won a technical decision. Before that, in March, he scored a unanimous decision or in July actually had a TKO win, and then in March of 2019 a unanimous decision win. But a lot of inactivity, which of course you know what I call that. High blood pressure, the silent killer.
50 seconds remaining, round number 1. Castaneda staying busy off the jab. Pintor pulling back the right hand. Left hook on the lead from Castaneda.
Beautiful shot by Kendo.
There's the Kendo Castaneda jab.
Good right hand by Pintor. At breakfast with Jesse James Leija today, my good friend from San Antonio, former world champion, Kendo's trainer, and he said, Kendo just has to box this guy. Says, I don't want him to get into a slugfest. All he needs to do is box. Kendo doing what he told us he would do. Let that left hand go. Let the jab go.
Final seconds, round number 1. It's our co-main, scheduled for 8 in the welterweight division. 23 win, Mauricio Pintor versus 17 win, Kendo Castaneda. Next stop, round number 2. Following this bout, our main event of the evening, scheduled for 10 rounds. At stake, the currently vacant WBO Latino featherweight title. Undefeated Alonso Liz versus Jonathan Aguilar.
About what to do every time. Okay, so that's...
Fernando Montiel, former flyweight and junior bantamweight champion of the world. Hell of a fighter. Great mover. Was lucky enough to sit ringside at a few of his fights.
There is in the corner of Kendo Castaneda. One of my all-time favorite fighters, Jesse James Leija.
Keep the jab, but do the same thing. Okay?
I was there for 2 of his fights against a guy named Azuma Nelson that I'll never forget.
Leija, the former WBC super featherweight world champion. Round number 2. Castaneda coming forward immediately and with the jab. So James Leija just telling Castaneda from the blue corner, stay with the jab. Pintor pulling back the right hand, pulled back that right hand.
Kendo's one of those natural boxers that likes to fight. And, you know, he'll start out boxing, and that's his ticket, boxing. But he just is one of those guys who likes to get into a brawl, and he needs to control himself and just outbox this guy. That's what he needs to do. So far, he's doing it.
To the body, and back to the body goes Pintor. Pintor again hooking the body.
I like those left hooks by Pintor.
Pintor turning up the pressure with 2:05 remaining, round number 2. Pintor cutting off the ring.
Good move by Kendo there to tie up when he was on the ropes.
Pintor with the feint snap jab. Much better stuff from Mauricio Pintor here in round number 2.
Yeah, he got Kendo's attention with some of those body shots.
Pintor really opening up now and targeting the body of Castaneda. Into the body goes Pintor.
14 KOs in his 23 wins for Pintor.
No, I no quiero golpes. No.
He's been a pro since 2009. And again, he was just so ultra confident yesterday at our fighter meeting, Sean.
Good jab from Castaneda.
No. Tiempo. Tiempo. Vete para allá. Un punto menos.
1 point deduction to Kendo Castaneda from Julio Cesar Mariscal.
I don't know what the heck that was all about. He had a free hand and he landed it to the body.
It was the punches in the clinch when Mariscal was calling for the break.
Maybe so, but I don't see it. And you know what? If it was, you give a guy a warning. You don't take a point away. I hadn't seen anything earlier to constitute that. That's no good.
Speaking now, Smitty, as a former pro boxing referee, that seemed harsh.
And it's huge in a fight like this. It's a round that Pintor is already winning.
Now it looks like a 10-8 round for Pintor.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get a chance to see it. I'm sure Chris will load it back up for us, but I saw a free-handed and whacking the body. Maybe he didn't hear the ref or whatever, but that's ridiculous. Anyway.
Castaneda from San Antonio, Texas, is a fluent Spanish speaker, and Mariscal giving his instructions in Spanish. But again, that seems harsh regardless. Final seconds, round number 2. It was already a good round 2 for Pintor. With the point deduction to Castaneda, almost certainly a 10-8 round for Mauricio Pintor. After what I thought was a good round 1 for Kendo Castaneda, we will move to round 3.
We'll get a chance to see what was going on. See the guys get involved in a clinch. There's a free hand up. He hit him. You know what? Okay, that's an illegal shot. The one behind there to the kidney was an illegal shot. So I think he should have given him the harsh warning. But looking at it from that angle, yep, that's not the body. The first one was in back. So that's a kidney shot. That's an illegal shot. I stand corrected, but I still don't think he should have taken a point.
I'm not on board with the 1-point deduction either. In referee speak, there's the soft warning, the hard warning, and then you move to the point deduction. That was straight to the 1-point deduction.
Makes it a 10-8 round, and thus, you know, after 2 rounds, because of that, I have Pintor up by a point.
Time called by Mariscal. Back comes the mop. Time in.
This mop's getting a lot of airtime here in Las Mochis.
See if the point deduction to Castaneda increases his urgency. Right back to the jab. Castaneda very good with the jab in the opening round. High, tight guard as Pintor walks forward.
Now that little part right there, that little a few seconds there is how Kendo should fight this entire fight, really. Middle of the ring, use the jab, 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 throw combinations. One little sequence was his ticket, but can he stick with it? Nice
right uppercut. Jab right back, Pintor, then hooking the body of Castaneda. Good jab from Mauricio Pintor. Jab right back to Castaneda, now to the body.
Better punch placement by Kendo this round. Again, letting that jab go.
Castaneda dedicated to the jab. Castaneda doing right now what he told us he would do to effect in our fighter meeting. Throw jabs constantly while moving backwards.
And when he felt the ropes touch his back, he slid right off. Smart move. It's an instinctive thing that fighters should do if they're not good at fighting against the rope, you know, back with their back to the rope. You feel those ropes, just slide right off. Oh, there's a cut. I don't know if it was caused from a butt, but there's a cut there above the, I think it's the left eye, is it, of Pintor?
And time called now by Julio Cesar Mariscal, and he will call in the ringside physician.
I think the heads came together.
Jesse James Leja telling Castaneda, get back to boxing. Do not worry about it.
That had to be a butt.
Time in.
Beautiful jab by Kendo. Trying to target that eye. There's a good hook by Pintor. Combination by Pintor. Feeling some urgency himself, Pintor, after that cut. And it's in a bad area.
Castaneda with the jab and moving backwards.
Yeah, did a nice feint jab there that set up the second jab.
Blood flowing freely, that cut outside of the left brow in the face of Mauricio Pintor.
Pintor trying to time the left hook.
Overhand right. This AOME Athletic Commission here in Sinaloa, Mexico, using the unified rules of boxing from the Association of Boxing Commissions from the United States. So 4 rounds must be complete. If an accidental foul causes a cut, which would end the fight prematurely, that is the end of round 3.
I mean, it could have been a punch, but just by the looks of the cut and the way it opened up like that, I think it's a headbutt. Let's see. Kendo coming forward, misses, head goes down, head goes up to the eye. There it is. Great job by the guys, Chris in the truck there. Bam!
Quintessential accidental clash of heads.
And right now I have this fight dead even. 28-28.
Va. El protector, ya. Hubieran limpiado los guantes.
Round number 4. Castaneda immediately in a wide stance takes the center of the ring to open the 4th round.
Yeah, I like the way he took that real estate, took control of it right away. He should keep that fight right as much as he can right there. Just do that. Hot shot the guy. He's a quicker, faster guy, a better boxer. I think the only trouble that Kendo would get into in this fight would be to brawl with Pintor.
See the head movement, the level change from Castaneda, slipping that left hook of Mauricio Pintor. Step away jab again from Castaneda, then the right hand. Now Pintor to the inside. Good uppercut in the left hand from Mauricio Pintor. That excites his Los Mochis crowd. Slick movement from Castaneda, with the follow from Pintor. Stalking pressure now from Mauricio Pintor. 2 from Castaneda.
That was nice. Step back, right hand to the body. It was right hand to the head, and he stepped back and threw it right to the body. Kendo did. There's
jab again from Castaneda, the right hand to follow.
Kendo should target that right hand, or that eye, that with the right hand after the jab. Very good job by Kendo sliding off the ropes. Pintor trying to apply the pressure, lands a left hook there.
Big to the body from Mauricio Pintor. 80 seconds remaining, round number 4. Jab just off the mark from Castaneda. Pintor holding his right hand high, loading it up, continuing to move forward.
Excellent utilization of the jab by Kendo.
Good hook to the body from Castaneda. There's a legal punch, noted as such from Mariscal. Pintor with a jab to the body. Again, Mauricio Pintor trying to cut off the ring. Castaneda turning the head of Pintor. Now 40 seconds remaining in the 4th round. Jab to the body.
I can just see Kendo thinking in there, you know, he wants to please the crowd and brawl, but he's got Jesse James Leon in his ear saying, box, box, get off of those ropes. His ticket is there in that center of the ring, bouncing around, moving, utilizing this entire, and it's a pretty doggone big ring here in Los Mochis.
Left to the body, right to the head from Mauricio Pintor. That was slick. Pintor can't get the uppercut through. Overhand right gets through from Castaneda, didn't fully land.
That was a weird sequence. Pintor actually backed up when he had Kendo trapped on the ropes.
Accidental clash of heads again. Both fighters keep moving. Good left hook on the exit from Pintor, and that ends round number 4. Into the corner of Kendo Castaneda with Jesse James.
You're trying to start at the end, you're giving them chances. You're giving them chances. You don't need to start at the end. All right? Get a little bit of water. Okay. You need a little bit, just a little bit. Okay?
It was a good round there, good 4th round. Pintor coming in, applying the pressure, landing some shots on the inside. He definitely had his moments. Good sequence there for Pintor. But
hey, every once in a while, boom, boom, you get out. Boom, boom, get out. But you go boom, boom, you stay there, you let him hook, hook, hook. You don't need that. You don't need to give them ammo to. They want him to win anyways, right? Be smart. Be the boxer, okay? Stick the jab in his face.
Jose Lopez also in the corner of Castaneda.
And they were telling Kendo to be smart, which basically translates to use your boxing skills.
Start of round number 5.
That last round was very tough one to score. You could flip a coin. I gave it to Kendo, but There was a lot of good moments for Pintor as well. This is a very close fight.
Cuffing left hook from Pintor.
And let us not forget, you know, that Kendo was penalized a point in the second round. That could loom large.
Castaneda continuing to throw the jab comfortably off his back foot, something he told us that he would do often and continually in this fight.
Kendo and I were in the lobby of a hotel in San Diego recently. We were in the show. I know we were going over the jab and talking about the jab and the utilization of the jab, and it was fun talking about it because I think it's by far the most important punch in boxing, as does Jesse James Lehan. Right now he's using it to do a lot of this damage to Pintor.
Castaneda with the slip of that left hand.
Pintor momentarily slowing down, not coming forward as much.
Right hand doesn't fully get through from Pintor, but he turned it over nonetheless. Jab right back from Castaneda. 90 seconds remaining, round 5. Still forward pressure from Mauricio Pintor.
That was a good left hook by Mauricio. He really throws that left hook hard, the way he turns it over Pintor. A little bit like a guy named Lupe Pintor, his Hall of Fame uncle. I like that by Kendo switching it up. Popped a jab to the body and flipped a couple up to the head.
Jab from Castaneda.
I'd get my hands up, though, if I was Kendo, because this guy can punch.
With separation from Julio Cesar Mariscal, right back to it. 45 seconds remaining, round 5. Doubling up on the jab, Castaneda.
And flipping the jab up.
There's the straight right hand. Threw it naked without the jab set up. Right hand again. Pintor with the left hook. Pintor still walking forward.
It's 3 and 4 Kendo punches to 1 by Pintor. Pintor's got a lot of power and thud on those shots, but right now it's Kendo outboxing him. And that eye is opening up again of Pintor. They've done a pretty good job of it, but Kendo's been targeting that eye, especially with those right hands.
Castaneda circling out on his bike. Combination to the body, left hook on the exit from Pintor. Pintor with the right hand. That ends round number 5.
It was a good round for Kendo, in my opinion. Pintor did have his moments again, as he has throughout this fight, especially with those left hooks.
Saying something else. Come on, baby. You're smarter than that, right? You're smarter than that. Come on. If it's working for you, stick to it until it doesn't work anymore.
The action in that fifth round, Kendo off the stick, off the can opener, the jab, good head movement, flip jab, right hand, combination. Some of them landed. Pintor back. There's a nice right hand by Pintor. Big left hook by Mauricio. That's when he does his best damage, does Pintor, when he backs Kendo up against the ropes. But Jesse James Leha has been imploring his fighter to stay off of those damn ropes.
Round number 6 begins. Castaneda, you can see in his posture, looking for the level change. Snap jab.
You know, Pintor is one of those fighters, if you give him something to think about, give him some movement, throw the jab, subtleties. You don't have to run or dance, but just subtlety. Give him something to think about, because he has to be kind of set to throw his shots. He has a real nice counter left hook, but for the most part, he has to be set. He likes to come in and set up his shots, and you just can't let him catch his rhythm.
Last sequence, Mariscal telling Pintor, bring your punches up. A lot of punches have been landing on the belt line, but the rule is it's splitting the belly button in the center. It doesn't matter where you put your trunks. So even if these are on the waistline hitting the trunks, they're still legal.
Right.
If they're above the belly button, or at least above the upper half of the belly button. Right hand from Pintor.
Yeah, when Lennox Lewis used to put his trunks up around his chest.
As did George Foreman in the second half of his career. Now that was low on the hip. That was noted by Mauricio. No worries, says Castaneda, we fought on. It was not in the cup, that was on the hip. Still an illegal blow. Castaneda opening up his chest ever so slightly. But he dropping his hands ever so slightly, perhaps in an effort to bring Pintor to the inside to land that jab in the counter right.
Also, I see the mouth opening up of Kendo, and there was some concern about whether he had been in camp long enough for this fight, and fatigue could be a problem. I do see that his mouth is opening up. Kendo's mouth is opening up. You see that? He looks a little tired in this round.
Morgan coming forward. Castaneda initiates that clinch. Mariscal puts them right back to it. Castaneda continually off the back foot, but again, that's by design. Throwing the jab with the backwards and lateral movement is Castaneda.
It's okay to have those hands down if you're completely out of reach and you're trying to catch a win, and it makes it a little easier to throw the jab. You just, as soon as you get close enough, you got to know when to put those hands right back up.
Good left hand from Pintor.
And that's where it can be a problem, right there.
Countered off the naked right of Castaneda. Tough to throw rear crosses at this level without the jab setup. There's the jab from Castaneda. Castaneda back to the inside, misses with that left hook on the exit. We're through 6 rounds.
Okay.
Up next, it is our main event of the evening. At stake, the currently vacant WBO Latino featherweight title. Undefeated Alan Solis versus Jonathan Aguilar, scheduled for 10 rounds.
Hey, Kendo.
RJJ
Kendo.
Boxing live tonight.
You got to keep moving your legs.
Mexico, worldwide
you got 2
on
more
UFC
rounds.
Fight Pass.
I think you got 2 more rounds, baby, and you got this fight won. If you fight smart, you get this fight won. 7, yeah.
Another very close
rounds,
round.
right?
I gave that last round to
you win the
Pintor.
fight, baby. But you got to be smart about it.
How do you have it through 6 rounds?
57 to 56 for Kendo Castaneda. Remember, there was a 10-8 round.
Well, Xavier was hard
round
in this.
number
Just
2.
move your head.
Referee
Don't
deducted
sit
a
there and
point
wait to get
from
hit.
Kendo.
Hey, keep it the jab. 1, 2 down
So
the middle.
without that, we're looking on your unofficial card at 58-55 Castaneda.
Correct. But again, you know what? These rounds are... You and I had a great conversation about the subjectivity of scoring. And again, I'll remind you folks, I said it earlier, you can't say it enough because most of the announcers who do boxing don't even know it themselves half the time. But it's clean, hard punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense. My last thing, if I'm struggling a little bit, is who was doing more of what they wanted to do. And in that last round, I felt it was Pintor. But for the
left hook.
But for the most part, I think it's been Kendo. There's a nice chopping right by Pintor.
To the body. Doubling up on the jab is Castaneda. Castaneda back to the body. Not getting through from Castaneda. 3-punch combination backs off Pintor. Castaneda keeping his right hand very low.
Kendo's plan should be right now for these last couple.
Good right hand.
Let his hands go and shoot shine and land combinations. Just like this. Exactly what he needs to be doing.
Castaneda turning up the pressure here in round number 7. 150 remaining in this 7th round. Rare sequence with Pintor putting his back against the ropes in this fight.
Trying to land the counter left hook, I believe. But
Pintor is nodding at Castaneda, trying to bring him in to look for the counter.
I think he was trying to let Kendo punch himself out and land that counter left hook.
Castaneda puts his back against the ropes.
Kendo didn't fall for it.
Full pressure once more from Pintor. There's the right hand. 80 seconds remaining, round 7. Jab, center of the ring, goes Kendo Castaneda. See that high, tight, disciplined guard from Pintor. Pintor sitting down on the right hand, another right hand. left uppercut from Castaneda on the inside. To the body from Mauricio Pintor.
Blocked that shot with his elbow, but it still had a lot of authority on it.
Pintor continues to come forward. The uppercut from Pintor.
Nice move by Kendo to just tie him up, go back to the center of the ring, and get that jab going again.
Castaneda has been very smart with his well-timed clinches.
There was that hook that Pintor wants to land, but it was thrown from way too far outside.
Right hand just misses the mark from Pintor. Again, Castaneda on his bike. Moving laterally, eats that hard left jab. Castaneda to the body, now to the head of Pintor. Final seconds, round number 7. Very even, Mauricio Pintor versus Kendo Castaneda in our co-main. And we will move to the 8th and final round. Live tomorrow night, right here on UFC Fight Pass, beginning at 10 p.m. U.S. Canadian Eastern Time. It's Icon MMA.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
From this very ring in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. In the main event, you will see UFC veteran Brock Weaver versus Alexander Barahona in the lightweight division. That's Icon Fighting Federation 6 live tomorrow night on UFC Fight Pass.
This is one of those. Remember, we were talking about it on the way over here. Did the judges like the, that 1-2 hard shots by Pintor, or the 6 or 7 other shots landed by Kendo, like right here in this sequence? 1, 2, 3. Not all of them landed. 4, 5, 6. But then you got the more powerful telling shots. Although Kendo rolled with that shot and rolled enough with those that I gave him that last round. I have him up by 2 points going into this 8th and final round.
Mariscal telling both fighters touch gloves. They do. 8th and final round.
How do you have it? I know you're not really scoring it, Sean, but how do you see it? Pretty close.
This is, I think, the deciding factor in these close rounds are the 3 judges signed by the AOME Commission here in Sinaloa, Mexico, going to favor Pintor with his forward pressure, or Castaneda with the slickness of his jabs and his counters moving backwards and laterally. Sometimes, and I'm not saying it's the case in this fight, but in close rounds, the default position for judges is who is coming forward. That's not correct, but it's often the case.
Agreed. This has all the makings of that D thing, too, called a draw written. And don't forget, again, they took a point away from Kendo in the second round.
The jab right hand just misses from Pintor. Good left hand. And again, you see the forward pressure from Mauricio Pintor and the slickness with the right hand on the exit from Castaneda. That sequence is the fight in microcosm. Good left hand on the step in from Kendo Castaneda. Castaneda to the body. Jab.
No.
Now, there was an opportunity for Pintor to throw a couple of shots, and he didn't. He hesitated. And it's that pressure, I think, that it will impress, and has been probably impressing the judges coming forward.
Left hand. Right hand lands from Pintor. 1:15 remaining, 8th and final round.
So far, a good final round for Pintor. Kendo a little fatigued, dropping his head and his hands a little bit.
Mariscal telling Castaneda, bring your punches up.
Corner of Pintor's done a very good job with that cut, Sean.
The cut has not been a factor. It was open from the accidental butt in round number 2. But outside of the left brow in the face of Pintor, not made any sort of impact on this fight.
This is a good 8th and final round so far from Pintor.
Straight left hand.
Landed some shots. Kendo's got his mouth wide open. Obviously a little tired. Holding on, pushing the head down of Pintor, trying to run out the clock.
Both fighters looking for one more big, significant punch to land. There was a good jab that landed from Pintor. Duck under in the pivot from Castaneda. Right hook to the body from Mauricio Pintor. Final seconds of this fight. You see the reset from both men, center of the ring. Snap jab from Castaneda. Feint with the right hand from Castaneda. That is the end of our co-main event. It's a really good fight. Nice show of sportsmanship and respect between Mauricio.
Pintor.
Smitty, quite simply, that 1-point deduction to Kendo Castaneda in round number 2 changed